I've made a ton of mistakes on my spiritual journey and my spiritual awakening, and I want to share with you those mistakes so you can avoid them, save a bunch of time and energy, and progress to remembering that you are source, pretending to be limited. So the first mistake that I made is leaning into other people's progress and other people's success. What does that actually mean? That means that when we're watching people here on social media, which you're doing right now, you're watching me, maybe you're watching other people, there's a leaning in that can happen. Okay, and that leaning in is a comparison, or I'm not there yet, or I still need to fix myself, or I still need to grow, or there's still something wrong with me, or I need a bit of that. This person has this character trait and I like that character trait. Maybe I need to develop more of that. And that's what's going to help me achieve the goals that I want in my life. That's what's going to make me more money. That's going to make me have more success. That's going to help me reach higher levels of consciousness and make me more productive or whatever it is, right? And so I used to do this constantly, comparing myself. And there was some jealousy there even at one point. And I realized it. I noticed that I was becoming jealous. And I realized that other people were succeeding with their YouTube channel many years ago with a different channel. And why is it not working for me, right? And so I realized the program that, hey, something must be wrong with me, right? And it seems like the quality of my videos are really good. Like, it seems like maybe my videos are even better than other people's videos, right? And so like I just felt like something's wrong with me, right? And so I became jealous, and then I flipped the switch, right? I'm like, okay, wait a minute. If I now become successful on YouTube, right, on social media, that means other people are going to be jealous of me. When I become successful, when I blow up, when my channel blows up, right? Other people are going to be jealous of me, and I don't want that. I don't want other people to be jealous of me, right? That was the program, and so I didn't want to create that, right? Subconsciously, right? And so there was a force, there was an energy blocking me from achieving the goal. So when I reprogrammed that, guess what happened to my channel? It blew up, right? My channel blew up just from releasing that particular energy. So we want to be careful because it could be our spiritual growth, it could be a relationship that we want, it could be being more productive, it could be anything, becoming more spiritual, whatever it is, right? We don't want to give power, you don't want to lean into other people's lives and comparing and thinking that there's something wrong with you and you need to fix yourself. And then one day you're going to achieve the goal, right? If you believe that, then that will be true, right? If you believe you can be who you are right now and still achieve your goal, that can be true too, because I've done it multiple times, achieving six-figure income whilst feeling anxious, depressed, feeling not enough, in a toxic relationship and stuff like this. And so it's not true that, okay, I need to be perfect, I need to be the right vibration in order to manifest my reality, okay? The second mistake I made is I was focused on how my mindset was, right? I need to have the right mindset, I need to have the right thoughts, I need to think positive, I need to behave in a very specific way every day. I need to control myself. I need to discipline myself. And this is kind of contradictory to a lot of people, because a lot of people that I work with and that I see watch my videos, they value freedom very highly, right? They want to be free. They want to be able to have financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom, personal freedom. They want to have freedom in life, right? And if you value freedom, discipline means constricted. It means controlling yourself. It means discipline. And that might feel like a burden to you, and it might feel like burnout to you, and it's just like not aligned, right? And so I started to learn more about myself. And when I say myself, I'm talking about my ego, I'm talking about the character here, I'm talking about my mind. I started to learn my personality type. I started to learn how I operate through astrology. I started to learn my Myers-Briggs, my Enneagram, like my different ways of being, right? And once I started to realize these things about myself, it's like, oh, I don't like schedules. I don't like deadlines. So why am I trying to fit, right? And then my character doesn't like deadlines. My character doesn't like to have deadlines, right? I don't like schedules, right? Okay, so I don't like schedules. What is the way to approach productivity, right? Whilst following my brain and the way that my brain works downstream rather than trying to go against the current. Does that make sense? And then I became more in tune with myself. In fact, I was able to shift myself into following schedules, which is really interesting. But as I started to realize, actually, I don't like it. I like my schedule now is windows. So the windows is like Monday is, for example, video creation. Tuesdays is editing. Thursdays is client's day. You know, stuff like that. Like it's really focused on one thing on that particular day, right? Or sometimes I'll have windows like 3 or 4 hours just focused on this one thing. And that's what worked for me, right? And everybody is different, right? And so during your spiritual awakening, it's like, oh, like, you know, I want to progress. I want to be a spiritual achiever. I want to be a conscious achiever. I want to be an awakened achiever. I still want to achieve. I still want the material success. I still want to have my spirituality too, right? And so how do you mix practicality with spirituality? How do you mix practicality with your awakening? And so for me, my mistake is really looking at what everyone else is doing and not being in tune with mind, ego, character, okay? And so sometimes it's not all about going against the character and trying to defeat your character and stuff like this. And this is not the goal, right? When it comes to our character, when it comes to the ego, the goal is to recognize what it is, work with it sometimes, right? And align yourself with it sometimes. But also on top of that, you can transcend it altogether by remembering that you are source, pretending to be limited. The next mistake I made is not healing my money wound, not healing my success wound. And this led me down so many different rabbit holes of, you know, should I be more spiritual? Should I be more successful? And it was like yin and yanging all over the place. I went from someone who is like hustle and grind, and then I went to someone who is like kumbaya, right? And once I experienced these both worlds and the cons of both, right? I started to realize, okay, you know, the spiritual side, you're gonna lose your couch. The practical side, you're gonna lose your health, right? And your well-being. So for me, I found that sweet spot where it's not necessarily hustle and grind, it's inaction, realizing that I'm source pretending to be limited and that I'm not my thinking, I'm not disciplined, I'm not controlling myself, I don't need to hustle and grind. I am action in itself. Source is always taking action. Source is never not taking action, right? When you get rid of your thoughts and you can quieten the mind altogether and your mind goes completely blank, right? Which is what a baby is, right? A baby's mind is completely blank. The baby's still moving, right? The baby's still grabbing the toy. You know, the baby's still empty, but still actioning, still doing stuff, still pooping, right? The baby's not going to stop pooping, right? He's not procrastinating on pooping, right? You get what I mean? So those were the different things. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go upstairs because I have a call, Babs. I have a call. Yeah. So the next mistake that I made, I would say this is probably the biggest mistake of all, and so potent and so powerful. It's just dropping who you think you are completely. Dropping. So the last mistake that I would say that I made is and probably the most potent, most powerful is releasing, letting go of the character, letting go of who I think I am, letting go, dropping it completely. Just drop who you think you are. Drop it. Let it go. Be done. Put a line in the sand. Make a decision. Cut off from. You are not your thinking. You are not your thoughts. Dropping it completely and realizing and remembering that you are source pretending to be limited. This is the most powerful realization that I've come to during the years of spiritual awakening, is that we get locked into the mind and the narrative and the story and my trauma and my beliefs and my past lives and my higher self and my timelines and my star seeds and all of this stuff. And we even get lost and trapped in the narrative of being someone that is spiritual and that I'm in non-duality and I'm a meditator and I act like this and behave like this, right? That in itself is also a limitation. That is also a thought. You are beyond that thinking of being in this spiritual character that has to be or behave in a certain way. Okay, and so I'm not some guru or not some enlightened person. I'm not saying that at all. But that is the biggest, most profound teaching I've learned over the past how many years, and it's absolutely profound. And I continue to realize and become more aware and awake and present of the character that is playing itself out in this matrix. And this is the fundamental teaching that I guide people to. And I've created a little guide for you actually that you can actually go download in my school community. It's completely free to join. You can check the link in the description. It's going to show you how I went through this process of awakening and remembering who I already am and operating from that space while still creating practical and material success and tangible results in this world. So if you are an awakened achiever and you want to achieve your goals still while still being spiritual, then this is for you. Check out the link in the description. So also, I'd just like to add before I finish up here, tie this up, is that this community, this ebook is all about us coming together and realizing we are source pretending to be limited. It's not about fixing and you got this problem and that problem. It's more about remembering. And so it's up to you to remember every single day. Use your thought, use your emotion, use your triggers, use who you think you are to invite or send an invitation to yourself to remember that you are source pretending to be limited. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.